During the golden age of comics, there were hundreds if not thousands of mystery men, but none were more mysterious than the Green Turtle. On and off the page, the Green Turtle is a mystery. At first glance, the character appears to be very well developed. He is an expert fighter who has super strength and agility. He has a sidekick named Burma Boy. He has a turtle lair and a turtle plane. There's also a turtle animal spirit that follows him around in shadow form. However, the reader is never given a clue as to who the Green Turtle is or how any of this came about. At a time when thousands of comic book characters were being produced, the Green Turtle is an original. He stands alone. There's nothing else like him. Someone has to ask the question, why is he drawn the way he is drawn? Why is he written the way he's written? Where did this character come from? What's his story? 5 stories, 46 pages in all. That's it. That's all we have to answer these questions. The answer to this Green Turtle mystery begins with Chu Fuk Hing. Chu's parents migrated from China in the 1880s. They landed in Hawaii and set up a sundry store in the town of Kapa on the island of Kauai. There, they sold non-perishable goods like canned food, clothing, and tools. Chu was born in Hawaii in 1897, and his family was rather large. He had 15 brothers and sisters. Like many immigrant families, they embraced the great American experiment while taking pride in where they came from. They embraced both American and Chinese culture. Chu tried to join the army at the end of World War I, but at this time the army had quit taking enlistments. Sensing that his son wanted to leave the island, Chu's father decided to send him, his older brother, and his younger sister to the mainland to get an education. The 3 went to Chicago, and Chu entered the Chicago Academy of Fine Arts. This school had a reputation for producing great artists, and later the school was known for producing great cartoonists like Hal Foster and Walt Disney. Chu excelled at his studies, and he became a favorite student at the academy, and this is where he met another student who would play a major part in his life. She was the Danish-born Helga Jensen. They fell in love and were married. And this was a big social no-no for the time. Mixed marriages were not just frowned upon by the white community, but the Chinese community as well. Chu's family was so upset over this marriage, they disowned him. Chu and Helga focused on their art. Art galleries in New York, Philadelphia, and Paris did feature showings of Chu's paintings. He began building a name for himself in art circles. Then, everything came to a stop when World War II began. Unable to sell his paintings and make a living, Chu, like a lot of artists, found work in comic books. He landed at Timely. Publisher Martin Goodman was known for hiring relatives like Stan Lee, but he also had a knack for finding people who did quality work. At this point in time, Chu was the master of the brush. Editors put him on inks and colors. During his time at Timely, the majority of pencil artists liked the way he handled their drawings. But there was one tiny issue. When he inked over characters, he often would redraw them with Chinese eyes. He did this particularly with Captain America, and at times, Chu found himself in trouble with the editors over this. And the editors would sometimes get another artist to come in and touch up the eyes to make Captain America appear Caucasian. Due to publication deadlines, Chu's work often went through untouched. This is where the Green Turtle comes in. It's generally believed that Chu pitched the Green Turtle to Timely, but editors didn't snap it up. He then took the character to a small publisher called Rural Homes. Now, Rural Homes is not a single publisher. They are actually a conglomerate of small publishers who group themselves together. They probably did this for distribution deals or for getting some sort of discount for bulk printing. Rural Homes was known for purchasing material that was rejected by other publishers. Much of their output consists of blatant swipes of popular characters or concepts that were just a little too far out there for other publishers to consider. The concept for the Green Turtle was that he was a Chinese American fighting the Japanese invaders in China. The publisher liked his idea, but he wanted the Green Turtle to be a Caucasian. Chu said no. The publisher wanted Chu's art and character, and Chu wanted their money, so they came to an agreement. The face of the Green Turtle would never be seen, revealing that he's Asian. This created a situation for producing Green Turtle stories. By not being able to reveal his ethnicity, the Green Turtle could not have an alter ego, and Chu also could not tell an origin story. This forced the Green Turtle stories to follow a strict formula where a Chinese person or group of people were under threat by Japanese invaders. Then the Green Turtle would fly into the situation and save the day. Characters like his sidekick Burma Boy, Chinese peasants, and Japanese soldiers are really well developed, and they take up a large portion of the stories. Visually, Chu had to hide the Green Turtle's face, and he did this a number of ways, such as drawing the Green Turtle covered in shadow, or having his back turned away from the reader, or his cape would engulf him, blocking his face. Chu came up with a really interesting way to visually show the Green Turtle's personality. The Green Turtle is followed by an unnamed turtle animal spirit who takes the form of a shadow. This animal spirit is never explained, he's never acknowledged, he's just there, and he remains silent, never saying anything, but he does show emotion. And from a storytelling standpoint, Chu uses this animal spirit to show the facial expressions that we would normally see from the lead character. For a character with such a short run, there are a lot of amazing things to talk about. If you go online, most of the articles on the Green Turtle focus on the racism of the 1940s and how the publisher mistreated Chu and the idea of an Asian superhero. That's an aspect of the story, but that's not all of it. What's missing in these articles, and what I find far more interesting, is the Chinese cultural influences that Chu put into his Green Turtle stories. This is a subject that is missing in almost every one of these articles. For example, in Chinese folklore, the turtle is one of the 4 guardians of the compass. The turtle is a protector. The turtle represents longevity, power, and tenacity. The turtle also represents balancing the forces between yin and yang. In the philosophy of feng shui, the turtle represents protection, good fortune, growth, and hope. The color green represents healing and energy. All of these are great concepts for a superhero, and any of these could have been an influence on the creation of the Green Turtle. Now, it also appears that feng shui also influenced the way Chu laid out his pages. His artwork is in panel form like comics normally are. The outer edges of the panels are squared, but Chu often rounds off the inner panel border. And Chu also breaks up the square straight angles with wavy lines and circular panels. And in addition to this, word balloons and character placement break up straight lines. This all falls in line with some of the visual theories of feng shui. We can visually see the influence of Chinese culture on Chu's art, but I can only speculate on how Chinese culture influenced his writing. Europe had the penny dreadfuls, and America had the pulp magazine. China was going through a similar publication boom in the early 20th century. It's really hard to judge what kind of influence Chinese pulp magazines had on Chu's storytelling. This is because so few books from this period are still in existence. A lot of it was destroyed during the Japanese invasion during World War II. Immediately after, there was a Chinese Civil War, and what survived was then destroyed by the communists. When the communists took over China in 1949, fiction genres such as detective, science fiction, and the supernatural were outlawed, and the books were publicly burned. In the late 1960s, a new wave of destruction happened during what was called the Cultural Revolution, and this time even the writers were targeted. This was the fate of one of the most popular Chinese pulp writers, science fiction and detective writer Wang Delu. When the communists took over, Wang was forced to give up writing. He became a school teacher, and during the Cultural Revolution, Wang was denounced by his students and forced to undergo public humiliation for once being a genre writer. He was then sentenced to a forced labor camp. 17 months later, he fell victim to dysentery, and was buried in a mass grave. Today, Wang is remembered for his character Crane Iron, and one of Wang's surviving Crane Iron novels is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Perhaps you might have heard of it. A few years back there was a big budget movie based on this story. Before communism, Wang had written 50 novels and hundreds of short stories. Today, almost none of his work still exists. What survived of Wang's work is in a genre called Wuxia. Now, Wuxia has been around for a real long time. Wuxia poems go back some 2,500 years. In the Western world, we might think of this genre as martial arts. The earliest Wuxia stories are about wanderers or assassins who dedicate their life to their martial art and then use these skills in some noble manner for righting wrongs or defending the innocent. I need to state again that Chinese pulp magazines and Wuxia legends influencing Chu is speculation on my part, but I don't think it's a reach by saying that. We can clearly see the cultural influence on his art, therefore I think the same cultural influence would be there in his writing. There's other signs that Chu celebrated and drew from his Chinese heritage. Chu signs his name in Chinese on the title page, and each title page also contains a sort of poem or prayer in Chinese. At the beginning of this video, I said the green turtle was a mystery. The green turtle is not a mystery. He's a reflection of his creator. Part Chinese, part American, all original. And because of this, the character stands apart from anything else created during the golden age of comics. And that is the true beauty of the green turtle. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully my sniffles didn't distract people too much. Please hit the like button and subscribe. I would love to hear comments on this video, especially from the Chinese American community. I'm curious about their observations on this character. You can help support the channel on Patreon or making a one-time gift on PayPal. The links are in the description box, and that's all for now. And until next time, everyone, stay super. Bye.